What's up, everyone? Stephen Hurd, founder of Hurd Homes Real Estate here in Orange County, California. And today I am beyond excited to come at you with an informative, powerful, and simple topic. And that is, how do you master working your database? So today we're going to talk about leads that are in your database, your sphere of influence, your past clients, people who know, like you, and trust you. How do you cultivate those relationships? How do you organize them in your database? And how do you get leads from them? Okay, so three things we're going to cover. Number one, A to Z, I'm going to cover how do you get started building your database. Number two, I'm going to talk about how do you organize your database so that you feel like it's organized, it's not a mess. And lastly, I'm going to talk about how to automate your follow-up with your database. After you hear, and this is going to be kind of toward the end, some of the technologies I use to follow up with my clients, you're going to realize how simple and leveraged you can make this. So let's dive right into the content. Part number one, A to Z, how do you build your database? Well, step one is choose your CRM, your customer relationship manager, okay? You could use anything as simple as a Google spreadsheet and as robust as Boomtown. Or you can go in the middle with something like Buffini's Referral Maker or Top Producer. Whatever it is that you use, this is the overall key that you need to pick a database. Is it user-friendly for you? Okay, so when you look at it and you're researching into databases and you look at their software, ask yourself, am I enjoying the process and the workflow of this specific CRM? Okay, because you're the one who's going to be using it. So for my brain, the one I use might be perfect. For your brain, the one you use, if you use mine, you might hate it. So it's got to be one that you get excited about using. Okay, now in addition to that, you need some basic capabilities. Okay, so first you need it to be able to tag leads. That means that you can, let's say, take 5 people and label them and tag them as past clients. So you need it to be able to tag leads. You need it to be able to, secondly, filter leads. So if you took all those people that you labeled as past clients, you can create a filter in there where you click a button and all your past clients come up. Whatever CRM you use should have that capability. Other than that, you need things like mass emailing, mass text messaging, automating drip campaigns. So if somebody comes to my open house and says they're 6 months out from buying, I should be able to put them on an automatic drip campaign where they receive text messages and emails to engage them as leads that are personalized. Okay, so it should say, hey Dave, Stephen Hurd with eXp Realty here. Wanted to see how your home search is going. Have you found a home yet, right? I should be able to personalize it and automate it. And then lastly, it's got to have a website, a user-friendly website. So that way you can send them leads and you can track how often they're on your website and if they're really engaging with the listings. I personally use the CRM Sierra Interactive. The only reason this isn't a very popular CRM is because of their name. Frankly, they chose a name that is super confusing and it sends off the wrong message. It feels like it has nothing to do with a customer relationship manager. But Sierra Interactive, a lot of my mentors were using it. They said, hey, this one's easy, basic functionality. It's low cost. I think I pay like $360 a month or $380 a month, something like that. And it has all of this functionality. Plus, I can voice blast voicemails. So I can record a voicemail and I can send it to 100 leads or 200 leads at a time. And I really like that capability. So those are the basic capabilities, but step one is you need to choose your CRM. You got to have a place to store them if you want to start building it. Step number two, it's simple. You start adding people. Once you've chosen your CRM, this part tends to happen naturally. So when you're prospecting and you're talking to people, whether it's a for sale by owner that you had a good conversation with, someone you met at an open house, you want to get in the habit of putting everyone in your CRM. But for today's purposes, we're talking about working your database. So these are the people who know you, like you, and trust you. So how do you work those and get those referrals? So first thing I would do is I would review my past transactions. So if I've have hundreds of sales and I look in my CRM, I want to make sure that every single client I've sold a home to or I've helped sell their home is in my database and I have their name, their phone number, email, and if they're a seller, an address. That's critical, okay? The second thing is I want to look through my phone contacts. So after I've gone through my transactions, I want to look through everyone in my phone, and I want to determine, is this person somebody that knows me, likes me, and trusts me? I'll explain to you in a second. We're going to get there how to organize these people. But for now, I want to start asking myself, is this somebody who knows me, likes me, and trusts me? And if so, I want to put them in my database. Okay? Lastly, review my social media. So I went through my transactions. I went through my went through my phone contacts. Now I'm going into my social media, and I'm going to ask myself, of these people on my social media, are any of these people likely to refer me? Or do I have a good relationship with them? Or do they know me, like me, and trust me? Same process. So I start adding them. So that's step one, is to start building your database. If you're a newer agent, or if you're like, hey, I don't know a lot of people, you're going to build your database through prospecting. So that's going to be lots of open houses, networking events. I highly recommend attending networking events to just get yourself out there in the community, get out there meeting people. And that's one of the ways that you can start building your database. Okay, so part one, A to Z, building your database. Part number two, how do you organize your database? This is where I think a lot of realtors struggle because, hey, if you're good in this business, you're probably a good salesperson. Okay, if you do well in this business, you probably have good selling skills. Guess what salespeople are bad at? Administrative work and organizing. Sorry, but it's just true. We are really good at getting clients in, but we're not so great with the operational aspect. But if you want to make your life really easy and you want to make your leads consistent and your workflow better, you got to get organized with your database. So allow me to simplify it for you. There's going to be a time when you can get really complicated with how you organize your database. Okay, when you get there, you'll know you're there because you'll be organizing and you will still be able to produce great results. But in the beginning, if you're not great at organizing, you need to really simplify it and use only 4 tags, okay? So that means every single person that goes into your database goes into one of 4 categories. Number 1, are they a past client? Has this person bought a home, allowed me to sell their home, or potentially tried to buy or sell a home with me, but decided not to because their own personal reasons? So is it a past client? Number 2, is it a sphere of influence? Is this somebody who knows me, likes me, and trusts me? Okay, so I want those people in my database because I want to invite them to events, I want to get them on a newsletter, and I want to ask them for referrals. The third is leads. Does this person want to buy or sell a home at some point? So if they're not a past client, if they're not a sphere of influence, then they're a lead. And then lastly, my vendors. Okay, so my termite guy, my home inspector, I want to put all these people in my database because number 1, I want to store their contact information somewhere. Number 2, I want to help build a relationship with them, so I want to invite them to my events. You can still get referrals from your vendors. They're still people. And I really want to build that relationship with them. So those are the 4 categories that I'm going to be storing my leads in. I'm going to keep it really, really simple in the beginning until I'm at the point where I'm following up daily, consistently for 30 minutes a day. I'm following up with leads. I'm efficient and I'm going, well. I'm not going to complicate that and add more categories to it because what is simple is what gets done. And I'd rather you have a simple process that gets done than a super complicated process that you just avoid looking at. Second part of organizing your database is you need to note where the lead came from. This will help you in your future investment decisions when you determine, should I spend more money on this lead source? Should I do more advertising here? Should I spend more focus on this, or should I cut it? So note the lead source. So if I'm putting a lead in the database, like I said, if they're somebody that I knew from high school and they know me, like me, trust me, they're going to be sphere of influence. If there's somebody who bought a home for me, they're going to be past client. If they're for sale by owner, the source is for sale by owner. If they're an expired, the source is an expired. So I really want to get clear on where the source of leads come from. Okay, so part number 1, you pick your CRM and you start to add people to it. Part number 2 is you start to organize your database. You put people in 4 categories. And now part number 3 is the fun part. This is where you start to automate your follow-up. This is the part that I just get excited about because there's nothing more fulfilling when you're a realtor and you're adding leads to your database, and you have automatic campaigns following up with people that produce leads for you. I mean, honestly, if you woke up and you had referrals and you had a system that was producing lead calls and seller lead calls, wouldn't you feel happier than having to go out and chase business? Of course, you're always going to be chasing business because we want our business to be prospecting based and marketing enhanced, or some combination of those. But at the same time, when the leads come in, it just gives you a much more flexible lifestyle. So with that being said, part 3, how do you automate your lead follow-up? So let's talk about sellers. One of my favorite tools for sellers is HomeBot. HomeBot costs about $25 a month. I think it's for like up to 100 people, maybe even more. And it is a home valuation online tool that tracks your client's equity, shows them the Airbnb rentals in their area, and what their home would Airbnb for, shows them rental values in their area, and shows them when it's a good time to refinance. And you can co-brand it with your lender so your lender can split the cost with you. So with that being said, this is a great tool for sellers because rather than having them look at Zillow and looking at Zestimate, you want them looking at your estimate. And so they can go in and they can customize the details to get a little bit more of an accurate home estimate. But this is a really, really good tool to getting your clients off of those sites and seeing you every single month. You know they're checking the Zestimate, right, of their home. And you know that they actually like the Zestimate tool. So why wouldn't you have something similar and competitive that gets them looking at your marketing versus Zillow's every month? So HomeBot, great tool for home sellers. You can also use it for home buyers, and it'll help track the market for them, give them useful insight. The second automated tool that I use is Corefact. So along with the email, I want people to get a monthly postcard from you. Why do I want them to get a monthly postcard? Because marketing in real estate is about getting people to remember you and think of you when they're ready to buy or sell real estate. And guess what happens? Emails get lost, emails get changed, phone numbers get changed, people stop answering their phone. But you know what? As long as you have the right address, they're going to get that mail from you. They're always going to see it, and they're always going to see that postcard. So I send a postcard with something I just listed or just sold once a month to my past clients in my sphere of influence. And it'll just be a picture, it'll say just sold, and it'll say Steven. It costs me, I think, 55 cents a person, maybe. So I have a list of like 130 people I send it to, and it costs me, I don't know the math on it, but it's like really, really super inexpensive. So with that being said, I highly recommend using Corefact. The reason I like that system for postcards is because it gives you the template, and all you have to do is upload the photo and the details to the template, and then you can upload your list of addresses, and it's really easy to send out the postcard. It does it all for you. So with that being said, I just have my virtual assistant every time, pick a home that we sell each month, and then she will upload it and do all that for me, so that automatically goes out. Now, if you lose contact with them for 3 or 4 years, you're spending, 55 cents on them a month, right? In a couple of years, you might have spent $100. And when they go to sell, they're going to remember you. They're going to remember your postcard. So that Corefact is huge. Third item is Postable. Postable is a website where you can upload people's addresses and their birth date or an important date, and you can automatically send them and choose in advance a specific birthday card that you send to a big list of people. So I send out birthday cards to everyone automatically. I do it one time a year. My assistant uploads their addresses and their birth date, picks a new card each year, and every year my past clients get a personalized birthday card from me. You guys, I cannot tell you how simple this is of a follow-up tool, but if you don't send people birthday cards, do you really care about them? And do they really think that you care about them? So it's all about showing them that I care about them and I love them. And, you really don't need to do a handwritten card every time. It's not sustainable when you're trying to get more and more clients. So hopefully that is a helpful tool for some of you. It's called Postable. The fourth technology that I use to automate the process is called Client Giant. Now, I can't remember how much this costs. I want to say it's $99 per client per year. And they send out a quarterly gift with a personalized note from me to each client. So as an example, I send it to my top MVP, clients who always refer me and who always use me for repeat business. And the last gift that went out was a custom toiletry bag that you would take on vacation. And it went out to all my past clients on my MVP list. And almost every single one of them texted me and was like, wow, this is so kind of you. Like, I was just getting ready to travel and I couldn't find my toiletry bag, and this is so nice of you. And I put a little nice card in there for myself and my wife. Hey, I forget what the message was, but it was something really nice. And so that deepens the relationship with people. Again, if that's $100 per year, for one person, for 3 years, I spent $300. I can almost guarantee you I'm going to get a referral from that person if I'm strategic about following up with them. So Client Giant is one of my favorite tools for staying in touch with my database and getting referrals from them. And then lastly, you might be asking yourself, wow, Stephen, this is all great, technology, and this is all wonderful, but what about calling people, and how do you get referrals from them? And is all of this going to actually lead to getting referrals? Well, number one, I can promise you, if you treat people like this, they're going to give you referrals. And my clients do give me a lot of referrals. About 60% of my business is referrals. So that is a reality happening for me right now. At the same time, this is not enough to get the referrals. The last step, and this is one of the most important steps, is have a quarterly client event. Okay, so your client events are where you're going to be strategic about asking for referrals. And if you have one every 90 days and you spoil your clients like this and you send them HomeBot and you send them a postcard and you send them a quarterly gift and you invite them to a client event, guess what's going to happen? They're going to be excited about referring you, and they're going to be really good at it. Okay, it's really easy to refer someone who sends you a gift all the time and who invites you to events and who educates you and does a lot of things for you. It's really easy for my clients to refer me. So I'll give you an example of my last quarterly event. But here, let me just give you a template of what I would use if I was starting off new. Quarter one of the year, I would do a happy hour. Just host a happy hour, offer to pay for drinks and appetizers, invite your clients to a local restaurant that's easy for them to access, maybe off the freeway or something like that, where it's really easy for them to get to. Quarter two, family photo day. You're going to hire a professional photographer. You're going to pay them to come to a park for a day, somewhere scenic, and you're going to tell your clients to come, and you're going to take a portrait of them and their family. You're going to give them one free photo, or 3 or 4 free photos, whatever you negotiate to pay for with your photographer. I did this. My clients loved it. I got multiple referrals. Quarter three, you're going to do your client appreciation event. Maybe you do something like, a dinner at a nice restaurant, something like that. Quarter four, you're going to do a wine and paint night. Really, really simple. They have these wine and paint canvas studios, all over the place. Try to find one of them, or maybe axe throwing or top golf, something where it's an activity where everybody gets together, collaborates, and has fun. Those events are the ones where you really connect with people. They get to see you and really have fun with you, and your referral game will go through the roof. So at your quarterly events, you want to be having conversations with them, and you just really want to ask them, hey, I want to thank you guys so much for coming tonight, and thank you for being such loyal clients of mine. As you can see, I'm really trying to build a community and a tribe of just great clients like yourself. Have you guys heard of anyone that is maybe thinking of making a move or possibly considering buying a home that you think I should be in touch with? That's it. That's all you have to do to ask for a referral from them. Again, when you're giving all these things, it's really easy to ask for a referral back. So with that being said, this is a very long video, a little bit longer than I thought, on how to master working your database. And we talked about 3 things. We talked about building your database from A to Z. We talked about how you organize your database. And lastly, I gave you guys some systems, tools, and strategies for automating your follow-up with your database. My prayer is that you guys would go out and crush it with this new plan, that you would start small by, maybe putting your people on HomeBot or putting your people on Corefact. Don't try to implement everything at once. Take one tool and say, in the next 90 days, I'm going to implement HomeBot or I'm going to implement Corefact. Hope you guys found this valuable. Thank you for listening to the Heard Homes Real Estate Podcast. Have a great day, and I will see you guys next time.